Good morning. So today we are discussing the topic assessment of impact on air. We have to see about the assessment of impact on different uh, category, but first of all, we'll be focusing on air. Okay. So before we start into the assessment of impact on air, we have to discuss about a concept known as the valued ecosystem concept. That is VEC, valued ecosystem concept. So valued ecosystem concept are the ecosystem components. Valued ecosystem concept are the ecosystem components that are considered to be important or valuable. We are considering some certain components to be important or valuable. Such components we are giving under the heading valued ecosystem components. Okay. So the valued ecosystem component concept, it is being used in the environmental impact assessment as a tool. Okay, what is the purpose of using this tool is to highlight the important receptors. Okay, whenever we are dealing with any impact assessment due to any development project, okay, we have to find out or we have to identify the important receptors and what are the different effects, okay, under the project which is being evaluated. What are the different aspects of this particular project which will be causing different problem to the different receptors? So our objective is to highlight the important receptors. Okay, so that is the significance of this valued ecosystem components. Okay. Now there is a basis for selecting the valued ecosystem components. Okay, this valued ecosystem components, they will be selected based on identification of pathways which are linking the important environmental components with totality of project activities. For example, if one particular project is being happening, okay, due to the developmental activities occurring as part of this development project, okay, what are the effects coming outside and what are the different pathways, which create the hazard. Okay, so we have to identify the different pathways, and based on the different pathways we have to select the valued ecosystem components. Okay, so this is the basic things about the valued ecosystem component, which is very much useful in the impact assessment on air. Okay, now let us see. Okay, so the valued ecosystem, I told that valued ecosystem components can be related to the different pathways. Okay, so here you can see a table. This table will show the list of environmental resources that are associated with the valued ecosystem components. Okay, here you can see that the environmental resource, first one is air and climate. So valued ecosystem component is air quality. Now, what is the importance of the valued ecosystem component? The air quality, there will be effect on air for local residents. Of course, there is some developmental activity going on, and as a part of this developmental activity, there is some effect on air for the local residents. Then there will be effect on the air quality within the ecosystem, and for all the users there will be certain health implication. Okay, so these are the air quality, valued ecosystem component being air quality. This is the importance of the valued ecosystem components. Next one is climate. The climate will be contributing to global warming. Okay, climate, the contribution to global warming. Another valued ecosystem component you can mention as geomorphology and landscape. Due to the project being carried out, there will be changes brought about in the land morphology. Okay, morphology means the profile of the land will be changing. For example, if due to excessive mining, a level ground will be becoming into a depressed state. Due to excessive deposition of certain material, there will be formation of ridges or hill-like structures on a level surface. So that will be ultimately resulting in the changes in land morphology. Then importance to local community, then effects of waste disposal method. These are certain categories for the importance to valued ecosystem component, where the valued ecosystem component is landscape. Next one is water. whenever we are discussing about water, we have to focus on groundwater quality, surface water quality, and river water quality. Okay. So there will be sustainability issues to groundwater. Then there will be certain effects on the local use of groundwater. If the local use of groundwater include irrigation and drinking, there will be certain effects on the local use of groundwater. Next one is surface water quality. Sustainability issues will be happening due to surface water quality. As similar to groundwater, there will be effects on the local use of surface water also. And also it will be implying a lot. There will be health implication for all users. Another valued ecosystem component is ecology and biodiversity. So whenever we are speaking about ecology and biodiversity, ecology and biodiversity can be classed into two classes. First one is terrestrial ecology and biodiversity, and next one is marine ecology and biodiversity. So both of these need to be considered separately. Terrestrial ecology and biodiversity, that is very much important for the well-being of ecosystem and the proper functioning, and how the ecosystem is getting in a useful way to community. Next one is marine ecology and biodiversity. It is of high biological value. It is of great economic use to the community. Next one is human environment. Next valued ecosystem component is human environment. So the different activities include socio-economic activity. For example, if there is one developmental project going on, this developmental project, we are conducting the assessment of environmental impact happening due to this developmental project, right? So this developmental project will be affecting the human environment in that particular area itself. How it is getting affecting the human environment? A lot of more and more employment opportunities will be created. So that will be bringing about welfare for the community. So better employment opportunities and community welfare is one form of socio-economic activities that will be affecting the human environment. Secondly, the human environment will have an effect in the form of community health and safety, right? So there will be community safety will be on a stake. Community safety will be at stake due to this particular project activity. Then you have the noise pollution. The activity will be causing a nuisance to the local community. Then it will be creating some influences on the biological diversity of that particular area. Then agricultural pattern or agricultural habits will be changed. Then light pollution, nuisance, it will be causing nuisance to local community and ecosystem. So these are the different value ecosystem components. Okay, now coming to the environmental aspects of different project. For example, if the project component is site preparation prior to construction activity. Okay, so consider the project activity as site preparation for a construction activity. So what are the environmental aspects? Soil clearing and land leveling. So soil clearing, it will be creating ecosystem imbalances, or it will be creating as impact to different volatile ecosystem components, as we have all valued ecosystem component, as we have already seen. Land leveling, it will be causing changes to the geomorphology of that particular area. Transport and equipment use, purchase and delivery of construction materials and services, staffing. Then construction activities, the stage of construction activity including civil work and mechanical erection. So for civil work and mechanical erection, the workers of that particular area need to be accommodated. So there need to be provision of a temporary accommodation facility for the workers. Then excavation and earthwork need to be provided. Earthwork need to be done for foundations and buildings. Then for transportation and the use of vehicles and construction equipments. Then waste disposal. These are the different aspects. Then the operational activities. In the case of operational activities, there will be use of certain chemicals like ammonia, urea, etc. Then freshwater intake pipeline will be in use. Then traffic operation will be in progress. Waste disposal will be another problem. So that's the different aspects. So now our focus is on the air and climate aspect. Okay. So whenever we are speaking about the air and climate, The air quality, okay, there will be effect on air quality during site preparation. So the construction activities and also the potential occurrence of non-routine events, okay, the activities which are not happening on a routine basis at that particular location. Due to the new construction activity, there will be potential chances for occurrence of non-routine events, which will be creating a very bad impact on the environment, right? Dust and particulate matter is a very important problem. So due to this dust and particulate matter, what will be happening? There will be localized as well as a wider reduction in air quality occurring in that particular area. Okay. Now, for this activity to be carried out properly, there need to be creation of more infrastructure in the sense new access roads need to be constructed for that easy transport of materials as well as manpower to and from that particular construction site. So this creation of access roads, then excavation and earthwork, etc., may be leading to some temporary airborne particulates. This will also be creating a very large influence on the air quality of that particular location. Okay, next one. Gaseous and exhaust emission. So during the testing and startup of the project phase, there will be emission of large number of pollutants. Okay, so this large number of pollutants, it may be including the oxides of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ammonia, oxides of sulfur, and particulate matter. Due to the different activities happening in that particular area, these many chemicals may be getting released into the atmosphere. Okay, so the main gases of concern include oxides of sulfur dioxide. So the sulfur dioxide, the amount of sulfur dioxide that is getting emitted into the atmosphere is directly dependent on the sulfur content. The sulfur content is coming due to the use of different kinds of fuel. Okay. So the only way to reduce the emission of sulfur dioxide from engine is by using low sulfur fuel for machinery and equipment. In the different machineries and equipments used in the project phase, try to include those fuel which have a lesser emission chances of sulfur dioxide. Another important gas which is need to be concerned is nitrogen oxide. Okay, so the emission of gases or emission of nitrogen oxide also need to be minimized. So in order to minimize the use of or minimize the emission of nitrogen oxide, what need to be done? The equipment and machinery used in the construction purpose need to be modified. Next one is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide means it's a greenhouse gas, and emission of carbon dioxide may be occurring during the construction phase. So this carbon dioxide will be contributing on a very large scale to global warming and climate change. So this carbon dioxide may be generated and it will be emitted during the construction phase of the project. There will be direct and indirect emission of carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide may be released as a result of incomplete combustion of fuels in engine. When we are speaking about different fuels getting combusted in the engine, due to incomplete combustion of fuels, carbon monoxide may be released. So this is about the different effects on air. Now we have to discuss about other aspects also, like land, groundwater quality, freshwater quality, terrestrial ecology and aquatic ecology, human environment, etc. Okay, these are the different other aspects which need to be discussed. Okay. And one more thing is there. We'll also see about the different potential gas emissions, nitrogen oxides. So nitrogen oxides, when we broadly classify as nitrogen oxides, it includes a mixture of nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, etc. So this higher levels of nitrogen oxide will be causing certain damage to human respiratory system. And as a result, the person's susceptibility to respiratory infection will be increased due to the continuous exposure to nitrogen oxides. And another problem is continuously, if there is a long-term exposure, it may be causing chronic lung disorders. Okay. This nitrogen dioxide will be reacting with oxygen to form nitrous oxide and also ozone. Next one is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, we said that it is a greenhouse gas. So it is very much important to monitor and control the emission of carbon dioxide. And this can lead to prevention of general air quality deterioration. So this carbon dioxide will be generated and that will be emitted both directly and indirectly during the operation of a plant. Next one is ammonia. When ammonia is released to the atmosphere in very significant quantity, it will be highly poisonous to the human. Okay. So this ammonia will be having a problem, like ammonia will be getting combined with carbon dioxide to form the product urea. Next one is carbon monoxide. As we already said, due to insufficient combustion of fuel, carbon monoxide will be released. Next one is sulfur oxide. We have already seen about these things. So these are the different impacts. These are the different impacts which is caused to the air. Similar to air, we have to consider the different aspects one by one. We'll be discussing it in the following sessions.